Okay, we got a new system here. Pues está aquí en la buena sintonía de Carmelo el Pueblo a través de 96.9 FM con Carmelo el Pueblo, y tengo el gran privilegio de tener con nosotros a la directora del Servicio de Comunidad Community Service, nuestra gran amiga Zina. Zina, welcome to 96.9 FM. And if you want, you can put the earphone. You might be able to hear me. And let me close this door for a second here. Kind of left me the door open.
Thank you for having me today.
Definitely, it's my pleasure to have you. And we have a lot to talk about here. First of all, can you, for informational purpose to our audience, can you let us know a little bit about what is your position, what is your department do for the community, for the city of New Britain?
Absolutely. So our community services office helps all residents in New Britain through many services that they would need. We have a youth advocacy, disabilities advocacy, and housing advocacy as well. So I tried to look up the Spanish word for social services. I hope I don't mess it up.
Go ahead, try it.
Let me see. The best one was sociales.
Servicios sociales. There we go. Good job. Muy bueno.
We also have the mercado de agricultores.
Sí, el mercado el mercado agricultural.
On Wednesdays, miércoles.
Sí.
On Wednesdays, we have through our office the community gardens, jardins comunitarios.
Sí, el jardín comunitario. Yeah, that's good.
So basically, it's a one-stop shop for any resident that is in need. Any resident that is in need to get referrals to other services. Mm-hmm. We also refer organizations that need help as well. So if an organization is in need of volunteers or information about what's going on in the city and how they can give back, our mayor pushes for really being available for our residents in all areas. So we really try to do that for anyone that comes through our office or makes a phone call to community services.
So ella dice que la oficina es la oficina de servicio de la comunidad, y bregan a veces traen para ayudar a la juventud, vivienda, y también tienen un departamento de agricultura donde ayudan a las diferentes personas con esto. Okay, let's hit one at a time here. Got a lot of calls. We get a lot of calls to the station and emails concerning housing. One of the main issues is that it seems like not enough. Or sometimes when people want to get into some of the housing of this federal housing or housing in the apartments here in the city of Brent, is so hard to get in. Can you tell us a little bit? Are we short of housing in the city of Brent for our residents?
Well, it's very common in a large city like ours, whose population is always growing, for us to run out of space and to run out of housing for people. There's always plans to increase housing in the city, but we only have so much space and so much available space. But the city is always working on trying to add more. Of course, they would love that because that brings in more revenue for the city.
So ella sí reconoce que la ciudad de New Britain tan corto de apartamento o vivienda para la gente. Ella dice que porque es una comunidad tan grande, casi siempre con las comunidades grandes, estos son los problemas que tenemos de vivienda. But it saddened me because we do have a lot of people that have disabilities. There's other that they have certain disability, and then some of them have that extreme disability that can only be in like on the first floor,
right.
or let's suppose somebody's blind or somebody's deaf. You know, there's certain disability that makes it a little bit more complicated, and it seems like from the phone calls that we get there, we don't have enough. What is the city of New Britain is trying to do to accommodate that, or how you guys keep in do you guys have like a network with homeowners or landlords that will provide you a list, so when someone comes in, especially those who might be under state programs or federal program, not regular, just like a regular rent?
Right. So we're lucky in New Britain that many of our landlords are part of a lot of the planning and organizing that has happened over the years. We have the Connecticut Landlord Association. There's also a landlord consortium. We don't have a list per se that can be given out, say, to folks, because we like to be that middle point for the landlords and the residents for obvious reasons. If you are in need of any kind of mental health help or disability or anything else that's going on, our office is best at getting you linked up with the appropriate landlord that would provide housing specific to your needs. The root of a lot of the issues with our housing that we see at our office, and it may be because that's who calls us, are folks that have had trouble with getting back into housing because of a history of evictions and other issues. And usually it leads to the root of the issue where someone has had something going on in their life that they needed help with, and that never got dealt with. And so then they lose a job.
Let me translate a little bit of this. Hold on. Ella está comentando de que a veces muchas de las personas que vienen al servicio de la comunidad de la oficina de ella son personas que a veces han perdido, lo han sacado de su apartamento porque no ha pagado la renta o algo así, o al llegar a un problema en la vida, el cual entonces se le hace más difícil para que los landlords le den un apartamento. Ahí donde tienen que trabajar a veces ellos y ser los mediadores en esos problemas.
So contacting our office, the 860-826-3366 is the best starting point.
Can you repeat that number again?
860-826-3366. That's our main number.
El número de ellos es 860-826-3366 para comenzar la iniciativa de cómo tratar de resolver su problema. One of the areas I've seen also is if there's a fire, since we already have shortage of houses or apartments, or if there's a fire and there's a family, how long does it take somebody to put them back into an apartment?
So we have this happening often in New Britain for the last few years. We have many old homes. So fires are happening more often and accidents are happening. The Red Cross and the fire department and the fire marshal's office are the first on site when that happens. They connect with the mayor's office, our office, fire marshal's office, and we start moving forward with figuring out, how many people were in the family, whether or not that landlord is going to be putting them up in immediate emergency housing at somewhere. Sometimes the family wants to stay with their own family because it's tough to transition into a hotel or whatever it is that's going to be covered. The Red Cross gives back to our city residents in a big way in that area.
Yeah, but the Red Cross only pays certain amount of days, and the city is about, let's suppose it's a month and a half, and you can't find an apartment now.
Right.
What we do, send them to another city?
Well, it's really the person's responsibility to, first of all, what we really, really want everyone to do is get renter's insurance.
Okay.
Because that covers you for a longer period than what the Red Cross can do and what the landlord can do. The city doesn't have funds to house anyone, but we do connect with the family within a few days after the fire, once they're settled and they're dealt with everything else. And it really is case-by-case basis. Sometimes it's a apartment that's condemned and they cannot go back to it. And so we have to figure out a way to get them into housing quickly. And then at that point, when we're meeting one-on-one with the family and find out what their rental history is, what their family size is, what their needs are, where the school system is that they need to be in if they have kids, and connect them with the appropriate landlords or housing that we know of.
La otra pregunta, ¿cuál grande es la necesidad entre la gente ambulante? O how big or how great is the issue with homelessness in New Britain?
Our homelessness issue has, I believe with the numbers, it looks like it's gotten better. But I think what's gotten better is our communication with one another.
Okay.
Our voice has been heard at the state level and nationally from our state representatives as well. So there is funding that has come into New Britain to help with homelessness. It's just never enough with any city, the size of our city. What is important is that all of the providers are on one table meeting with the mayor's Building Hope Together mayor's work plan to end homelessness. And that communication and networking is so important. We have programs like Family Promise that started up in New Britain. The hub is in New Britain. Family Promise is, they just had their fundraiser this past Saturday at Trinity on Main, which was a great opportunity to go to a fundraiser where you're seeing all of these successes that have happened over the last few years with a program that is nationally known, is here in New Britain. They have put churches on board. I believe they have around 11 or 12 churches that are on board. When you are a family and you are homeless, we connect you with Family Promise, and you stay at a church for a week, and then they move you to another church the following week. They opened a day center, which is big for a program like that just started a few years ago in New Britain. The day center is the hub for families. It's their go-to. It's their home during the day. They look for jobs online. They are their kids are taken to school, the same school that they were in prior to becoming homeless. So it's programs like this that really help. The other issue is that we try to look at the root of the issue with homelessness. Does the person have a connection with their family? How can we get them reconnected with society and with their family and get them the help that they need? It may be that they need a case manager, or they just need an ID and they just don't know where to turn to do that. They don't have the financial means and are dealing with, adversities that we all, at some point in our life, come across and have to deal with. So I think that in New Britain, we really have such giving churches and people. Like, I know you have been a huge part of our connection to folks that are in need. They're comfortable talking to someone like you or a church or a friend who then is comfortable calling us to get folks connected and get them the help that they need.
No, and I also thank you for this word, and we're really grateful because it is nice when someone comes to our office. It's here, especially at some of the station. That is nice to have a number that you could say, you know what, I might not have all the answers, all the questions. I can't answer all your questions, but these are the numbers. These are the people that might get you in the right direction.
Yes.
And at least getting the basic information to bring it up. Because a lot of time, people in the community feel like, I don't know where to go. They feel like you need to know, someone personally, if you don't know the mayor personally, you're not going to get help. Right. And I realized that within the mayor's office, and when I say that, the city hall, when you go, because everyone thinks that when they think the mayor's office, they're only looking at one office, but not realizing there are many offices there. But then you could say, you know what, you could walk into City Hall and there's a place like your office there. You say, you know what, let's evaluate what we have and let's go, let's figure out what can we do and not do. Yeah. And whatever you guys can do, have another layer so you can say, these people could do it. Mike, one of the areas that is always alarming and concerning is that we do have a lot of young people in need. And just recently, speaking in the educational sense and at the state level and locally, finding out that we have a lot of homelessness among young people.
Right. The 18 to 24-year-old age slips through the cracks sometimes because, and actually we see it even younger, 14 to 24.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Because they're couch surfing and
exactly.
Jumping from family to family for whatever reason. This is the age where, honestly, with my background, I can talk about this.
Yeah.
Your brain is not fully developed yet. That is why they still call 18 to 24-year-olds teens or adolescents or young adults. Your brain is not fully developed. You're not making right decisions yet, but some are and can actually run a whole city. So, it really is a matter of...
I have a debate calling them teen because if they could make some adult decisions, and some adult action, then they could make some they could make some other decision. But I know that what you're talking about, and you feel as you know, in the medical field, it's not completed. But if you could make some other decisions,
right? So,
you could make some other. But I do believe I know that the 18 to 24. But let's talk a little bit about those who are under 18 that we hear. There's a lot of alarming, especially coming from the board education area that we have heard.
Right.
There's a large what we call couch surfing. Tenemos una gran cantidad de muchachos de 18, ella está comentando de 18 a 24, lo que ya llaman ellos couchsurfing, que dice que están brincando de casa en casa, de casa en casa, durmiendo en los sofás de la gente o en el balcón, en el vehículo, en el driveway de una casa. Le voy a preguntarle a ella qué pasa con esos muchachos que están en la escuela de 18 y menos, que ahora mismo están ambulantes. So what is the city doing, or those within the system doing with those kids that are couch surfing, but they are under 18? I mean, they're still in school. We know there's a lot of kids that come to the school to eat because there's no other place, and they probably go in the bathroom, wash up, because they probably didn't have a place to, you know, sadly, it happens.
So we have are fortunate to have a McKinney-Vento liaison, who's Joe Vavrchek, through the school system, who is part of the Building Hope Together Mayor's Work Plan and Homelessness. He's also part of something called YETI, which is the Youth Initiative Team Initiative, Youth Engagement Team Initiative. We just launched through the state the 100-day challenge. It started on May 1st. This launch is to help us in the next 100 days, so until mid-August, try to eliminate youth homelessness. And I know that's a big task, but we believe we can do this.
Okay, hold on. Let me translate that part. That's real good. You say there's a challenge for 130 days to eliminate homelessness.
100 days.
100 days. Ahora mismo hay un reto de tratar de eliminar las personas que están ambulantes. ¿Cómo poder eliminar ese programa completo en 100, how many days, Sergey?
100 days.
En 100 días. La ciudad ahora ha puesto un reto, cómo poder bregar con este sistema. Si usted tiene una pregunta acerca de vivienda, el sistema de ambulancia, cualquier servicio, nos puede llamar 860-924-0584. Hoy el día es perfecto, ya que tenemos a la persona aquí. 860-924-0584.
So what we are attempting to do is, first of all, find the teens and young kids that are homeless or couch surfing or in need of help. And sometimes it's something that's going on within the family, something that's going on within the child themselves. So it's important to get in touch with us, get them connected with us, because we have a team out there. Our city has a youth navigator now. We were able to get a grant to get a youth navigator. She's out there connecting with the teens all over on the campuses, you know, either at Central.
Okay, let's get a little bit on this here. So you're saying there's a youth navigator. Is their job is to try to navigate and find those kids who are right now, you know, under the radar, but they sleeping from place to place.
Exactly.
If a kid is under 18 years old and he's running from couch to couch, if they under 18 is considered a minor, so who we make, isn't someone supposed to be responsible for that child? And how you guys determine is not a runaway compared to someone who might just be getting out because of a circumstance.
Right. So that's why it's so important to connect with us, because we can get them connected to either DCF or another family member that will take in someone that age, or set them up with whatever is necessary.
But
you know, every case is different.
Yeah. When it comes to adults, I mean, from what I have, you know, here, and I tell you this, when my wife used to be at the high school, it's like every day some kid was at the house, eating. Most of them was eating because they didn't have a place. So I got to, you know, as personally, I got to experience during the years my wife was at there, because she felt it bad. You know, kids were homeless and they needed a place to eat, so they come to the house, eat, and then from there take them to a family member or something. Most of the kids at that time, and now I hear, they are scared when you talk about DCF, because they might be moved out of the environment. They're going to be put in a place there. They might be sleeping on somebody's couch, but they know the person. Compare, you bring them to a total different stranger house. How you guys accommodate to try to keep everybody within the, you know, that person feeling, you know what, I gotta be careful how far I go with this, because if they call DCF, I'm gonna be in somebody else's house and we don't know what the heck is going on.
And
Compared to I'm in a friend's house. But how you help that individual that wants to help that person too? Because sometimes that was the other thing, that if that kid was trying to work and just to keep a couple dollars in his pocket, then services say, oh, well, if you're working and you have a couch, you're no longer homeless.
Right. It's important to make sure that the teen or the young adult or the minor feels comfortable with the person that's speaking with them and has a good rapport and knows we are trying to get your safety is most important, and your comfortableness, that's most important thing. That's what folks that we work with are trained to do. And we have all the providers right there at our fingertips in New Britain to help us out. We have Wheeler Clinic, we have CMHA, we've got the hospitals and everyone on board and connected, the school system connected, especially through this 100-day challenge. And that's what this Yeti and Coordinated Access Network, it's brought us all together to try to handle this big issue. As far as the minors are concerned, we have to be very careful with making sure that these kids are connected to someone, somewhere, with something, whatever they're comfortable with. And so I think the first thing is give us a call, and we can talk to the adult who knows about this. I feel a lot of great successes happening in the past few weeks. We've gotten phone calls from teachers who say, I talked about this 100-day challenge to my students, and I talked about homelessness and how we're going to give back and collecting money on Gene Day to help the Building Hope Together program. And now one of the students came to a teacher and said, I know someone who's sleeping outside our house. She's homeless. Her kids got taken away. Where can I send her? This is a second or third grader who is seeing this. So that number was given to that woman who showed up at our office. So I think these are little successes, and if we continue to do this and show that there is a place to call, and that place will connect you with other programs and always has your best interest at hand, I think it's important.
Estamos hablando de las personas que están pasando por situaciones de que no son ambulantes, y se consideran ambulantes porque está durmiendo en un vehículo, o está durmiendo en el driveway de una persona, o la persona está brincando de sofá en sofá. Eso le consideran como una persona ambulante, homeless. El teléfono para llamar, si usted conoce a una persona que está pasando por un tiempo de dificultad, sea de vivienda, sea por cualquier programa social, usted puede llamar al número 860-826-3366. Si usted tiene una pregunta acerca de cualquier sistema social de la ciudad de New Britain, usted nos puede llamar aquí y hacer la pregunta 860-924-0584. Si tiene una pregunta acerca de vivienda, consiguiendo un lugar por la persona porque tiene cierta handicap o cierta disabilities, o si usted sabe de un muchacho o una situación que está pasando con un menor que puede estar ambulante, nos puede llamar aquí 860-924-0584 y hacer la pregunta donde la directora le puede dar la información acerca de esto. What happens with especially within the youth? I always believe that once someone's 20, 24, 25, they have a little bit more leeway. Well, before I get ahead, what happens to that person that is helping a minor, but you don't have legal guardian status, but not you want to help this kid, but you want to bring him to a program, or you want to help him, you want to bring him to the location, but you're not the parent, so you can't really make decision. How you guys deal with that situation?
So that happens quite often at the school system level, and ours a little bit as well. And again, it's meeting and having our door open to meet with any individual that has questions like this. And every situation has a different answer. There's so many different scenarios that can happen, and we want kids who, if it's a minor who's saying, this is the person that I'm comfortable talking with, and this is the person who's going to get me help, but what are some of the resources available, then we will provide those resources. But keep in touch and follow up.
Okay.
Make sure that maybe another family member that's part of the child's circle that the child is comfortable with comes into the picture. But we, of course, have to follow the laws first and make sure that the parents, or if it's a situation where the child is at risk by being around those parents, it's there's paperwork to fill out.
Yeah.
And so forth.
If you're in an abusive, if the kid's in a abusive family and he has to go somewhere else, I could assume that. So at least what you're saying, there are resources for that young person who's trying to get away from that situation, but there's a resource for those who want to help that person.
Right, and I wish that we had more. More resources. I wish that we had some kind of day center for that age group. And that's one of the goals that we're talking about. What are some of the policies that need to be changed at the state level for this age group, and what is on our wish list for our city? For example, we're in a building now that houses the teen center. That's a huge addition to our city when we didn't have one for a long time, and that's a result of a grant that was
we do have a teen center in the
we do a teen center in this building where you are, where the radio station is, right next door.
Next door. Yes.
Yeah, so the YWCA.
They do it. I was thinking a place where. No, I thought it was a center where kids were living at. I'm like, here, I didn't know that.
No, but it's baby steps. This is the first.
Right. No, and they're doing an excellent job here.
Right.
I got to say, trying to think of her name.
Mallory.
Mallory
Dupree from the Y.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic job, and every time we get to see each other somewhere, we always talk about it. So we do support, and we have announced. Anytime they give me sadly, they don't give me enough information to announce from their part.
Oh, well.
I was telling, send me stuff, and we announce it here, just like we were announcing the Wellness Center for them.
Well, whatever I receive, I'll forward to you as well. Mallory is part of the 100-day challenge. She just got added on, and she's actually one of the leaders now. She always steps up and does a great job, and
she's doing a fantastic job.
Dawn Fairservice from the Friendship Center is also part of that group, and she's co-leading our team.
Okay.
The Invest Health team years ago received a grant, and we brought back information on how to become a more healthy community, and we based it on what the teens were asking for in town. They did a photo voice, and they wanted a teen center here on the east side. And that happened.
And I'm glad here.
We connected with Jim Sanders, who's the owner here, and he was gracious enough to sign a lease to do that, because sometimes certain landlords or buildings don't want to see teenagers around.
I tell you, they're doing a fantastic job. We personally never had any complaint. I mean, they go into their building. You can see there's activity going there. It's glad when people invest money in something and something's being done.
Absolutely.
Compared to seeing a center empty with nothing,
right.
You always see this activity there. And
there's always positive things happening.
Yes.
And the Invest Health team was CCSU, the Chamber, the city, YWCA, as well as the Community Health Center. So we have a pediatrician on board, nursing students from CCSU, Community Engagement Office, Jessica Hernandez from CCSU.
Oh, yeah,
All of us are part of that Invest Health team that continues to bring positive events like the block parties that happen. The cleanup and block party just happened this past Friday, which I think was a really good success. Even though it was raining, everybody was out there cleaning up.
Yeah, I saw that. I had Christian Rosado. He was constantly telling me I had announced, and we did it. We didn't announce much. I think what happened was, once they saw the little bit the weather, they probably thought they had been canceled, but they did a fantastic job. Now, another area that I notice sometimes doesn't get say a lot. There's a lot of time kids that have autism and some these type of disability that sometimes people don't really understand it, and they mix it up with something else, and we see sometimes a lot of this that gap there of kids with disability, 16 to 21. Sometimes people don't understand the disability, and we see them out there in the streets, and sometimes we think that they get into trouble. It's just their part because people don't understand and they understand that their disability. I don't know. Is that proper to say disability?
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's something that's called the spectrum. So with autism, you are somewhere on that spectrum. Sometimes it's mild,
Right.
milder than other cases, and you're right. It's a problem across the nation, and we are proponents of getting everyone connected with places like the Autism Center, which we have right here in New Britain in the old MIA building. It's part of Hospital Special Care.
Okay.
They have programming right there. Our office has a disabilities advocate who can connect you with the Autism Center and other programs that are happening around
Okay, let me
our
translate.
region.
Because a lot of people have talked to me about that. Queremos dejarles saber que si usted tiene un hijo que tiene autismo y usted está buscando ciertos recursos o avenidas para poder, primeramente, para poder manejar y usted conocer un poquito más acerca del autismo, o usted está buscando recursos que tenga la ciudad o el estado para poder asistir a su hijo, la ciudad de New Britain tiene uno. And you said, which office is that? Your office has that?
We have a disabilities advocate in our office.
Sí, la oficina aquí de la doctora Zina tienen un departamento que verá con hecho 860-826-3366 para las personas que tienen a lo mejor un hijo que tiene diferentes niveles de autismo también, porque es una de las áreas que mucha gente me han llamado y me han preguntado de que ahí tengo un hijo que tiene autismo, tiene una incapacidad, otras incapacidades, no sé qué voy a hacer. Usted puede llamar al 860-826-3366 o pueden llamarnos aquí a 860-924-0584 y preguntarnos acerca más de eso. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people recently, I personally have to say, recently, Saturday, matter of fact, I saw Sharon Saavedra, which is a great advocate for autism.
Absolutely.
And only until she came to a show many months ago was that I got a little more into it. And then after that, a lot of people has talked to me about it.
Right.
And because of the short conversation that I had with her, which she's going to come back and we're going to just talk about that, a lot of the people recently been talking to me. I'm like, you know what? I know just a little bit about it because of a friend, and more people are asking about because of the lack from what I was getting was a lack of a lot of resources or network, how to deal with my kid. You know, they found out when he was 4, 5, 6 or the levels, you know, and they were wondering, hey, the school says that they're, you know, I don't want my child just to be looked at a kid who got an issue. It's a disability that if you understand and the community understand, he's going to be a normal kid down the road.
Exactly.
You know?
We have June O'Leary, who is the sweetest person on earth, is our, and very experienced and capable. She's our disabilities advocate, and we have a commission on persons with disabilities through our office for the city.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that there's
Right.
aquí también en la ciudad de New Britain hay una comisión de los incapacitados que ellos bregan con cualquier problema de incapacidad o eso los tienen. Let's jump on the line.
Okay.
Hablando con Carmelo y el pueblo. Hacia adelante. Hacia adelante. Estamos en vivo. Hello? Oh, drop the line. You could try it again. Carmelo. Cuando te llame, solamente habla y cuando le den el botoncito, tiene que salir la llamada, ¿ok?
So the commissioners on our commission all help advocate for.
Perdone, it was my fault. Puede llamar otra vez al número 860-924-0584. Canito checking here. We go right, Canito?
Yeah.
Ok, vamos a probar los teléfonos otra vez. Llame el teléfono 860-924-0584. Carmelo y el pueblo puede llamar. Okay.
So I was saying that our commissioners all advocate for those that are disabled. They are out there working really hard. Every year we have something called the Abilities Walk and Roll, and it's in July.
Oh yes, Tony sent me the information a little while back.
Tony's the chair of that commission.
Sí, va a haber un evento ya mismo para todas las personas incapacitadas. Va a haber un evento en la ciudad de New Britain que se van a envolver, que el comisionado de eso, el señor Tony Oriola.
On Wednesday, the 26th of July at Walnut Hill Park.
Wednesday, May 28th?
July.
Perdón, July.
26th. And there's music at the Shell right after the walk.
Va a haber música y todo ahí para eso. Now, another other area, and we're gonna touch another area here, but because I get a lot of call concerning family housing, disability, in the sense of helping with disables, people. I should say people with disability. A lot of time is also able to get that transition, that person who might have a disability and trying to find an apartment that is handicap accessible. Right. How's the city of Britain doing with that? And let me just remind the number 860-924-0584. Quiero probar las líneas.
So if you call into our office and you talk to June O'Leary, she helps you get connected with the programs that we have at the state level to help and all of the resources that we know about in our region to help fit your apartment to your needs.
So there are resources to, once you have the apartment, that you can make it handicap accessible, you saying?
There are some organizations out there that do help with that. It's not as much as we would love, happening, but, for example, things like if you're unable to get in and out of the shower without
those are the areas I was about.
Things like that. There are small organizations that do help with these issues through your social service case manager, but if that's, not working for you or you're unable to connect with someone, you call our office and we'll get you connected to talk to someone.
And how are you able to get a landlord to agree? Because a lot of times there's leases, they say you can't add things to the house or take things, which I agree, they're protecting their own self.
Right. But most of the landlords that we're working with are very open to setting up the apartment the way that
if somebody else paid for
the resident needs. Actually, there have been some landlords that will do it themselves if they know this is a resident that's going to stay for a long period, and they would rather not lose.
Yeah. You don't want to lose the rent if you go invest a little bit. Now let's also talk about agriculture. I know that you guys are promoting a lot of, farmers market, natural foods, and we've seen the cart out there. Now, but one of the questions that I had is, New Britain should have something where we could get, and I can tell you on behalf of a lot of these elderly Puerto Riqueños, a lot of my Boricua people. Like I know my father-in-law years ago when he saw the truck, he goes, they should have a little place here. We could go in there and help a plant, and it brings some memories when they used to work in Puerto Rico or in the garden and stuff like that. Do we have any of those type of programs? I know that on Oakshire one time we used to have a little mini farm or something. I don't know.
There was an organic farm that was owned by Mr. Ayudi, who was leasing it to the group that was called Urban Oaks, and then Urban Oaks stopped running it, and it turned into Earth Farms with a U, and that was for a couple of years. But now it's so exciting to announce this, but there's a company that bought the whole area, and they're called Trifecta Biosystems. Check them out online. It's fabulous. Their whole message is that they want to push is called a city that feeds itself.
Okay.
They will have programs where people can come in and help plant there. The whole thing is very different than our past that was there. It's all hydroponic and aquaponic. So they already have a company open in Meriden.
Okay.
They have a big tank with fish swimming around in it.
Okay.
The fish matter goes through this filtration system that they created.
Okay.
And that water helps grow the plants.
Oh, wow.
Water. So this is something that across the nation is being promoted, so that people can eventually do this in their own home. And that is the big push, is growing your own vegetables in your basin or wherever with the proper lighting and the water. And
right. And I thought that was a great idea. I think that the issues in the years, because my wife used to go and buy stuff over there, was there. It was so expensive. They were trying to attract the community. I mean, and anything you buy organic, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But when you're buying something that you could buy the same organic in one of the other stores for a reasonable price, their price was I'm like, really? If you're trying to reach the community, you should have a price competitive to not be over You
Right.
know, I mean, it was organic, but jeepers, you could go, to any other organic store and find the same thing,
And the hours were not great, but
Right.
this company, because they already have one site in Meriden, and because they're doing a little bit more than just growing in soil, they will also have raised beds outside where they'll be growing things in the soil as well. But the greenhouses are going to be hydroponic, aquaponic. They even have a CSA, which is what you can join for the year and get weekly vegetables.
This is a non-profit or for profit, or what's considered the company?
The company, I believe, is for profit.
Oh, okay,
It's,
okay.
I don't know that they have a nonprofit.
Okay, no, I just didn't know if it was going to be more of a
side.
community. If
They
it's a
may
company,
be doing both.
if
Because,
because they need to make some money out of it. So
well, and they will be working with having folks from like programs that are of people that have disabilities that would like to come in and work. Volunteers, seniors, they've got a lot of good plans going. We also have the community gardens. If anyone wants to,
that's what I was looking at my notes in here. That I know that for a while they were doing. They had those big planters, and then you bring your stuff in.
yeah.
So,
So it's $10 for a raised bed for the whole season, and you
Okay.
get a lot more than $10 worth of veggies and herbs and flowers out of that if you call our office or come by our office, get an application.
What is the name of it again?
Community Gardens. We have one
Community
on
Garden.
Lawler Street and one on Chapman.
On Laurel
And those are
Street.
city-run.
And Chapman.
$10 per raised bed. But the important thing to understand about community gardens is it is a community gardening program.
Right.
So the city and our office comes in the beginning of the season, middle season, and the end of season to help clean up around the garden. But the actual gardening and cleaning up throughout the rest of the season should be the gardeners.
The gardeners there,
To
right?
get to know each other. Well, we're going to have workshops on Saturdays there. The opening day is this coming Saturday, the 11th.
So, and it's the first time I know I had heard it before, but they starting the season. How's it been before? I mean, no one goes in there and, have they had any problem, people, breaking things?
There's a little bit of theft that happens with the veggies, but we have a
I can imagine.
fence at both, and we have cameras.
Oh, okay, good.
And we have neighbors that are administrators. So, most of the garden at Lawler and Chapman have neighbors that live around it that also garden there. So they keep in touch with me and let me know if there's a problem. Like we had a problem maybe 3 years ago at Chapman. A young man was coming in with his truck and taking the soil that we had there that was composted and
wow.
so I had to go. The neighbor told me where he lives, so I
Right.
went there, knocked on the door, left a letter saying
Right.
we'd like you to come bring us back some soil because we need it for the gardens and come garden with us.
Right.
I took care of the issue. We didn't
Okay.
have to go the next level and have like
Man,
police go there.
if I go plant my tomatoes out there and I'm waiting for the tomato and they tell me they're nice and ripe and somebody I'm gonna call the police. Yeah, I'm gonna call the popo. You know what? I waited all the time to get what I planted.
Yeah. Most of the people that are gardening think, you know what, I wanted to plant enough to share with others anyway.
Right, so there's no need to steal it.
But there's been a little bit of it. Now we have the cameras up, that has helped, and there's a fence around both. And we're excited. We have students that are going to be working at both, and also the folks that live in the elderly home
Right.
on, is it Clark Street? Over there in that area, Nathan Hale's school, they also work at the gardens. Their case manager brings them over.
Okay.
We're putting up a gazebo to help them get out of the sun, because that was one of the issues. They don't want to
Yes.
do it because it's too hot.
Yeah, you want to do just a little bit, and then and I always thought that if a lot of this elderly from different, not only from Puerto Rico, from anywhere, if you tell them, you know what, I think the most exciting thing is seeing the result of something that you planted.
Exactly.
Even at home, when I see the flowers now, then I don't have a green thumb, and
So-
I throw a little water. But it's nice when all of a sudden the summer comes in or the spring, you're like, ooh,
It's the
they're
best
popping
feeling.
up.
Yeah. So we had a group that was going to help us build the gazebo the past 2 weekends before our opening day, and it was pouring rain both
Yeah.
times. So now I'm looking for a new group of volunteers that would like to help us. We just need 2 or 3 people. Call our office.
Okay.
We had a wonderful administrator and helper at Chapman that helped build the gazebo there last season, and now we just keep getting rain. So
Well, we know that there's a lot of things, there's being promoted, putting stuff. But I let you know, one thing I always want to say is that, as I said to all, to the city officials, different agency, we are here to promote whatever is good for the city and the brand for our people.
Exactly.
And I hope that we could get more information. Wow, when you're having fun, time flies.
I know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Anything else that you would like to announce or bring attention to the community?
I mean, you segued perfectly into each topic. I wanted to talk about the Abilities Walk and Roll. We did that, the 100-day challenge, the community gardens, our farmers market on Wednesdays, 11 to 2.
De 11 a 2, de 11 a 2 estará la marqueta, that's in downtown, right? That's the truck.
Central Park.
Está el troll que traen todos los vegetales que fueron hechos orgánicos en el centro para que usted pueda venir a recogerlo.
Farmers, food trucks, and vendors. Also, we're going to start doing it on Monday nights.
Carmelo y el pueblo. Hacia adelante.
Carmelo.
Sí.
Hello.
Sí, hacia adelante, está en vivo.
Mire, yo tengo 66 años.
Ajá.
¿Ok? O no, 67 cumplí ahora.
Diga.
Y
Ajá.
tú sabes, porque yo estoy hablando de la vivienda ahorita.
Sí.
Tú sabes lo que yo he sufrido para poder conseguir un apartamento, porque lo que tengo son 900 pesos de income y en ningún lado, porque tengo 900 pesos, no me quieren agentar un apartamento.
Ok, dame un segundito para traducirle esto aquí a la directora. ¿Cuántos años te dijo que tenía? ¿67 años?
Yo,
Sí.
67.
Ok, un segundito. Okay, I got a gentleman who's 7 years old, and he says that he's having a horrible time getting an apartment because all his income is $900 a month.
So have him call our office. He'll have an appointment with our housing technician.
Ella dijo que llame a la oficina de ella mañana. Llama a la oficina temprano en la mañana a ellos y ellos le van a asignar una persona. ¿Ok?
Porque, mira,
Sí.
yo por personas mayores, yo he llenado en personas mayores,
Ok,
tú sabes, para personas mayores, ahora mismo
Sí.
estoy viviendo en un Bayman,
ok.
porque no me han podido conseguir un apartamento.
Okay, wait un segundito. He's saying right now he's living in a basement because he had applied for the elderly apartments and
He's on a wait list,
and
probably.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will check where he is on that wait list and give them an update of information, because sometimes if something has changed, like your income or health issue, you might be moved up.
And because they're my audience from 96.9 FM, can we work extremely hard for them?
We work hard for everyone,
Everyone.
especially
okay.
the folks listening today.
Okay. Escúchate. Mira, papá, cuando te voy a dar, tú tienes un bolígrafo para darte el número para que llame.
Ok, sí.
860
Ajá,
826
ajá,
3366.
ajá.
He may also
Okay.
qualify to be to come in and talk to her about renter's rebate.
Y entonces dice que va a tener ellos te van a poner. You guys have somebody speak Spanish, right?
We find someone in the building.
Okay,
And we have someone who has taken Spanish for many years and helps
I
us.
got somebody
a lot.
real good in the tax collector's office named Veronica
Yes,
Rodriguez.
that's who comes up and helps
That's
us.
my daughter.
I know.
Mire, le van a poner mañana, usted llame mañana 860-826-3366. Le van a poner en español y como yo le dije que usted es parte de la familia 96.9 FM, lo van a ayudar. ¿Ok?
Ok, está bien.
Ok, llame temprano o vaya temprano. What's the office number over there? 301?
301.
O la oficina es 301 en la alcaldía.
En la alcaldía, 301 en la alcaldía.
Sí, en el tercer piso. El tercer piso, la oficina
Ok.
301. Y dígale que Carmelo Rodríguez lo mandó. ¿Ok?
Ok,
Ok,
está bien.
gracias.
Ok, gracias.
Hey, you see, cases like this that we hear all the time.
Yeah. So
You know.
it's tough to find apartments in any town these days, especially with $900, income. But we will do our best to try to get him connected to somewhere or figure out, we don't want to have
Sí.
people leaving New Britain.
Como ella dijo, cualquier persona que tiene una situación, sea una situación de vivienda, un problema con incapacidad, un problema, o usted tiene niños con incapacidades, o cualquier problema que usted está pasando así, la alcaldía de la ciudad de Núremberg tiene una oficina de servicio de la comunidad para poder dialogar su problema. Entonces ellos toman su problema y tratan de buscar los recursos para ayudarle. Como dice, hay problemas que no se pueden resolver el mismo día, pero lo pueden llevarlo por la avenida segura, que el teléfono de la oficina de ella 860-826-3366. Y usted dígale, si no sabe español, usted le dice que le consigan a alguien que habla español. Seguimos aquí en alguna sintonía de Carmelo y el pueblo a través de 96.9 FM. Zena, you've been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You know, there's a lot of information.
It is, and just a quick, we're here to help, and also don't forget to take care of yourself.
Sí.
If you yourself are caretakers for others in your family and in your friend circle.
Y se recuérdese siempre de cuidarse usted primeramente o las personas que están alrededor suyo. Pero recuérdese que aquí está fue la directora aquí, la señora Zena, de la oficina de servicio de la comunidad de la alcaldía de la ciudad de Núremberg. Usted tiene un problema, usted vaya a la alcaldía al tercer piso 301, o usted puede llamar 860-826-3366 y déle saber que usted lo escuchó aquí en Carmelo y el pueblo a través de 96.9 FM. Puede ser que yo sé que le van a ayudar a ellos. Usted, como dice, tira 96.9 FM al medio ahí, ellos le van a ayudar a ellos. El trabajo de ellos es trabajar con la comunidad. Si no saben el problema, no le pueden ayudar a ustedes. Ellos bregan. También las personas que están interesados en la parte de la agricultura, ellos tienen, you say on Wednesday, right? The market truck?
Farmers market, food trucks, vendors, every Wednesday 11 to 2, and we're starting to do Mondays at the Shell during the music as well.
Oh, mira, todos los miércoles ellos tienen ahí el centro del pueblo, tienen diferentes troces de comida o que traen la fruta y cosas así, puede estar ahí. Entonces, on Monday,
Mondays 5 to 8 will be the farmers market happening up at the Shell before the music starts, or during the music.
Sí. Entonces también ahora en el parque que estaba ahí al lado del hospital de Núremberg, donde está la media concha ahí, de 5 a 8 van a traer ellos música y también van a traer muchos de estos recursos de las comidas para que usted vaya y se goce también, oiga un poquito de música y también coma un poquito. Aquí a través de Carmelo Pueblo. Once again, thank you, Zena, for being with us here.
Gracias.
In Carmelo y el Pueblo. You're always welcome. Please,
thank you.
I'm not a person, I don't get bothered if you send me information that I could provide the information to my community. You bring us all that resources and we're going to announce it here in Carmelo y el Pueblo and 96.9 FM. It's public information that we want our community to know.
Thank you for all you do.
No problem. Muchas gracias. Seguimos aquí con lo mejor de 96.9 FM, su emisora favorita. Recordándose, todos los lunes y los miércoles estaré anunciando. El miércoles estará con nosotros aquí el Alderman Dan Salerno. Estaremos hablando de los presupuestos de la ciudad. Eso se va a poner bien calientito porque tengo mucha información y preguntas que preguntarle. Esperamos que esté Christian Rosado y también habrán otras personas del concilio hablando aquí con Carmelo y el pueblo.
Eres tu verdadero Salvador.